5 of 14. Back on Game Time and in celebration of Black History Month, our Isiah Thomas sat down with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's not only on the short list of the league's all-time greatest players, but as thoughtful an athlete as American sports has ever seen, for a candid conversation on dealing with adversity, race relations, and an athlete's social responsibility.
For a young African-American man during that period of time of the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, what was it like for you?
I was so lucky to have Bill Russell as a role model, you know, playing my sport. And he conducted himself, he wasn't like wild and, you know, out of control. He's very dignified and spoke intelligently and to the point about the civil rights issues. And, you know, that really helped me figure out my style.
I always admired your ability to always be stately. And my mom and my sister, who were big fans of yours, and they were always telling me, like, you know, this is how you want to carry yourself through the NBA. I sat at some of the games, and it amazed me some of the names that you were being called from the stands. You know, and at that time, they were calling you the N-word. They were calling you the big whatever, right? How did that make you feel?
It made me feel like I had to deal with it just like John Lewis dealt with it. He talked about going across that bridge. And I remember watching that close to tears because I knew that they were going to get slammed, but they were doing that for all of us. It's funny, you mentioned your mom, and my mom will always be like Jackie Robinson, you know, see how he's intelligent and he speaks well, and I got it, you know?
Yeah, you go to UCLA, you meet John Wooden from Martinsville, Indiana. The Klan right there in Indiana. John Wooden is your coach from Martinsville. How did you view him at first?
Well, I didn't know what to think about Coach Wooden at first because he was so quaint, and he looked like he was still from 1910. He was born in 1910, he still looked like it. You know, he had the part up the middle of his head and everything. But he's so knowledgeable about the game and so open, and really someone who lived his Christian faith. He was into poetry and stuff, you know, he's an English teacher. One of his favorite poets, Langston Hughes.
Wow.
The Harlem Renaissance.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, you know, and the time that he refused to take his team to a tournament unless they let him bring an integrated team. That was in the 1940s when he was coaching at Indiana State. He could have really impressed me with that. He never told me about that. I found that out on my own from other people that knew him. They told me about that. Incredible. He had that kind of openness about him.
Your social consciousness, your social awareness, where did that come from?
Growing up in Harlem, and I was mentored in a program between my junior and senior year where they taught us about community, and they taught us about how special the Harlem community was, especially for Black Americans. And then understanding that Black Americans had so much to give America, and, you know, just trying to figure all of that, it made me very proud and made me want to add to that.
Kareem doesn't communicate well. How did that make you feel when people wrote that or said that about you?
They took that attitude because I didn't know my place, Isiah. I wasn't going to just shut up and dribble. The fact that I didn't want to say it the way they thought it should be said made for a problem between me and them. And I didn't shy away from debating them on that.
It's almost like you were taught and groomed to be Kareem.
As Black Americans, this is how we have to learn how to live successfully. That's the best way.
Did you ever break down?
No, I just, the way I dealt with it was if I had a successful life, then I won.
Right hand, 12-footer,
The great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with Isiah Thomas there. In Boston, Celtics trying to put an end to the Pistons win streak. Gordon Hayward 56% shooting in February so far. All-Star Weekend 2019 is almost here. Short commute for most of us up to Charlotte tomorrow and Friday, depending on your schedule. And then it's the Rising Stars game on Friday night. Of course, All-Stars Saturday night. All the bells and whistles there leading to the All-Star game itself Sunday, all on TNT. What are you looking forward to most about the weekend in Charlotte? What are you hoping to see?
You know, first of all, Matt, even when I was a player, getting a chance to attend the All-Star game, played in the All-Star game, being around the Legends brunch is one of my favorites. When you get a chance, if you can go and be around those old guys, those stories, sitting in the lobby with those guys and just picking the brains and some of my heroes that I grew up loving to watch, George Gervin and obviously Kareem and Dr. J. But then I think after that, I think this weekend, I'm definitely looking forward to that three-point contest. I think they have a great group of stars that are participating. Then the dunk contest, you know, I'm biased. Miles Bridges in Charlotte.
Yep.
Spartan dog from Michigan. I think he has a chance to win it. And then overall, I love the new format of the picking of the teams. Not that Western East wasn't good, but I just think right now, this is so much better right now. And this is going to be good.
Yeah, it really invigorated the game, a game that needed something, needed a shot.
It had plateaued for a little bit.
Yeah. No, they played it. It was, as I said last year, you and I did the game for virtual reality last year. Remember that? This felt like a real game, like a competitive game at the end. And really, ultimately, I think that's all fans could really ask for out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand it's their all-star, their time off, but I just think you owe it to fans to come out there, and you don't want anybody hurt. There's a way to have basketball fouls versus playoff fouls in an all-star game.
Right.
But I think you got to come out there and compete, and you just want to win. That's what it comes down to.
Right.
I want to beat you, Matt. Matt, you want to beat me, and you usually put on the show when you have that type of talent.
I don't need to see
in Charlotte, I want to know there's some good food, so somebody can tweet us. And
so they can tell us.
I love food.
I don't need to see anybody clothesline in an all-star game, but you know, get into a stance once in a while, at least when the game counts.
I stand straight up and turn sideways.
I'm with you on Miles Bridges as well for the dunk contest. I would like to see Del Curry make an appearance during the three-point contest, right?
Del Curry, Reggie Miller.
Well, because you've got Steph and Seth already there, I'd like to see Del involved somehow or other.
That'd be good.
And you know what? Del might come out and win the thing.
Just pass it to him, Del. Just pass it. Del could.
Crunch time comes your way next. I've lost track of who's coming and going, but Smitty's staying. Jared's going to yell at you. And Seku's back, I think, right?
Seku's here all the time.
That's all going to happen.